What is up, guys, and welcome back to Adventure Archaeology. Today we got a pretty interesting episode where we're going to dissect the Garrett Ace Apex. We're going to take a look at it in depth, do some testing, and let y'all know whether or not you want to add this detector to your arsenal. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Okay guys, we're going to be doing some testing with Apex today. We're going to do a depth test here in just a second, but I wanted to take a second to show you a few things about the model that are super interesting to me. The first thing you're going to notice if you are a Garrett fan, that right here your grip is going to be really similar to the AT Max, which to me it's an upgrade from the AT Pro with just a solid foam. It's just a lot easier to get the mud out of it. The control on it is so fantastic because of how small it is. It really presents itself in a way of keeping the unit incredibly balanced. So it's so light and so balanced so nicely that it just makes your hunt that much more delightful, which is great. The shaft, the way that it's connected, is similar to the AT Max and Pro as well. I know a lot of other model detectors that are out there, such as the Simplex, I've heard that they've had some issues with it being kind of shaky. Well, that's not the case with this machine. It's very rigid from top to bottom. Also with the lightweightness, it just kind of all just goes together seamlessly. The cuff is really similar to all of the other Garrett machines. It feels good. You don't have any issues with that. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this coil though. I'm going to compare this coil to the 5x8 that everybody used on the AT Max and AT Pro. To me, I think it's going to be around the same depth. We'll have to see in just a second. It may be a bit more because of the length, but it just flows very nicely, especially if you're in a really weedy, nasty area. It just kind of snakes its way through there, no pun intended. So really good coil for sure. I'm excited to see how it performs. So one thing about this control that is incredibly nice is, as much as the A series was known for the yellow, they really slimmed the yellow back. It just makes it a little bit more sleeker if you're a man swinging the detector. Though there may be some men out there who like the yellow, I don't know. But anyways, the yellow looks more of almost an orange color on the Apex, which is very nice. So let's go ahead and get into the depth test and see what we think about that. All right guys, the air test. Now I'm going to show you my setup just so you know what I've got going on. Here's the Apex. I'm going to be running in 0 mode with the sensitivity at the fullest. I've got the coil set up at a 90-degree angle to the board. Right behind it I have a standard yardstick, and I've got my camera set up where hopefully y'all will be able to see. I've taken a few pieces of yarn where I put a dime, a penny, a nickel, and a quarter. I will also be doing a silver ring and a bullet for an air test. Now before everybody jumps in here saying, oh, air tests aren't accurate, that's not how they perform in the soil. Well, you know what? You're right. But if you're a good detectorist, you should be able to read between the lines on how this will perform in the soil. Every state, every part of the country, every part of the world has different types of soil. So really, even bed tests are not accurate to your particular area. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the quarter first. Now keep in mind the coin is going to be spinning on the yarn, so it will be a bit different because of that. 6, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10 to 10.5 is where it wants to cut out with a quarter. All right, let's go ahead and move to the nickel. Let's see how it does. 6, 7, 8, 9.5, 10. Wow. Right at 11 is where the nickel cuts out. So that's really not bad. 10.5, 11 with the nickel. All right, let's move to the penny. There's 6, 8, 9. Right around 9.25, it looks like, for the penny. All right, let's go ahead and move to the dime, see how it does. There's 8.5, 9. So that's not bad. Right at 9 inches with a dime. Maybe 9.5 if you keep it steady. Like I said, this is moving back and forth though, so 9.5. All right, let's go ahead and try the bullet and try the ring. Here's a nice little silver ring that I found. we're going to see how it does. It's a very thin band. Here we go. There's 6, 8, right at 9.5 is where it starts to cut out. So 9, 9.5 for the silver ring. All right, let's try the Civil War bullet. Here's the bullet I'll be using. Nice size 3 ringer. I have a feeling this will read pretty deep because it's a good size target. Let's find out though. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right around 10.5 is what it looks like the Civil War bullet cuts out at. So, not bad. So what did y'all think about the depth test? I think it did pretty good. I mean, considering that coil, as mentioned, is very similar to a 5x8 coil, I think, you know, 10 inches, 10.5 inches on a quarter, as well as a Civil War bullet is pretty good for a machine that's considered entry level. That's the thing, there's a whole lot of people going, oh, I'm going to compare it to my Deus, I'm going to compare it to my Equinox. Well, guess what? This is not a Deus or an Equinox, and it is nowhere near the price point. So it's kind of an unfair comparison, even though I think that this would hold its own in the field against either one of those. So I was pretty excited about it. Overall, would I recommend this machine? Yes, I would. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. It is a great machine. It is a lot of bang for the buck, and I think it's going to really shake up the market for the new entry-level detectors. In either case, guys, I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure that you're subscribed to the channel to catch the future hunts. We're going to be out on the beach in the coming weeks with this machine, and I'm really excited to see what I can pull out of the sand with it. We'll see you guys in the next adventure.